I want to start by talking about one of the most common misconceptions when it comes to recruiting for diversity. It's sometimes said that recruiting for diversity means hiring less qualified, diverse candidates at the expense of more qualified, less diverse candidates. This is not what it means to recruit for diversity. Okay, so then what does it mean? To answer that question, let me ask you this. Let's say that you're a hiring manager and you have two pools from which to select a candidate. One pool has 6 candidates and the other has 28 candidates. So, which pool do you want to look at? Well, you're probably saying, hell, I want to look at both. I mean, 6 candidates, okay, there's a few there. 28 candidates, yeah, a whole bunch. Well, I want to look at all the candidates. I want to look at all 34 candidates. And you would be right to say that. I mean, the math is not hard. The more qualified applicants you have from which to choose, the greater your odds of getting a qualified new hire. The idea behind recruiting for diversity is the same as recruiting for any other position. You want to cast the widest possible net so that you can get as many qualified applicants as possible. Now, you might be saying, hold on, Lon, casting the widest possible net is just a good hiring practice. What does this have to do with diversity? That's my point. Smart business and diversity go hand in hand. When you cast the widest possible net, you're not only more likely to find more qualified applicants, you're more likely to find more diverse qualified applicants. As is frequently the case in business, increased diversity is often the outcome of smart business. And smart business is often the outcome of increased diversity. The two are not mutually exclusive. They are, in fact, highly correlated. So with that in mind, here are 7 things you can do to cast the widest possible net, get as many applicants as possible, and hire the very best, most qualified job candidate. First, look for bias in your job descriptions. Now, I know this sounds a little overly simplistic and maybe even trite, but don't underestimate the power of words. For example, research has shown that some verbs and descriptors appeal more toward one gender than another gender. Words such as competitive, confident, and determined tend to be seen as masculine adjectives, and so a female job candidate may not feel like they would feel a sense of belonging in that organization. Conversely, words like collaborative, cooperative, supportive, these words tend to attract more female job candidates than males. Now, the studies that I'm referencing here focus on males and females. However, I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts that the same principles apply to every gender, and in fact to different races, ethnicities, you name it. The point is, we want to be careful what kind of language we use in these job descriptions, because the last thing we want to do is alienate and push away really qualified candidates. Second, be deliberate when setting your hiring requirements. If the job doesn't require a certain criterion, don't include it as a requirement. For example, requiring a college degree when the position doesn't truly require a college degree would disqualify candidates who went a different route and yet have the skills and experience and know-how to do an excellent job. Today, there are any number of ways that really solid, skilled, intelligent, hardworking, ambitious people can get the skills and experience they need to be solid contributors without stepping foot in a college classroom. You don't want to cut yourself off from these gems. Third, focus on hiring for the role and function of the position, not necessarily the task. For example, if you're hiring a corporate trainer, you're looking for somebody who can engage with groups of people, help explain complicated ideas in simple terms, and really encourage folks to step outside of their comfort zone. Well, there are any number of people who possess these skills, have these abilities, and yet have never seen the inside of a training center. On the other hand, if you simply put, we are looking for an experienced corporate trainer, Well, your list of applicants is going to be much shorter. Number 4, when marketing your job posting, include organizations that support diverse populations. This can include national as well as local organizations, groups that are out there to really help connect diverse, skilled workers with jobs in the area. We always talk about networking when growing our careers. Well, these different organizations provide a platform by which diverse populations can increase their networks. So if you want to include this talent in your applicant pool, and you do, this is where you go. Truth is, there are many highly qualified, diverse candidates out there, but we're just not looking in the right place. It's like going to a burger joint every single day for lunch and looking around thinking, why can't I get more salad and yogurt here? Well, there's plenty of salad and yogurt in this world. You just need to go look someplace else. I should probably include granola, right? Salad, yogurt, granola. I'm from California. Give me a break. Number 5, put together a diverse hiring team when hiring for key positions. It's ironic that we need more diversity to bring about greater insights to the organization, but because our hiring teams lack diversity, they lack the insights necessary to recruit greater diversity to the organization. A diverse hiring committee will help the group see opportunities where others may not, help overcome some of the challenges involved in choosing the best candidate, and really help bring a new vantage point to problem solving as a whole. In other words, they can bring to this team the value that diversity can bring to the organization as a whole. Number 6, when looking at specific candidates, focus only on those things that actually have a bearing on their ability to do the job, not things that may introduce bias into your decision-making process. Now, I know this is hard, and by hard I mean probably impossible. Nevertheless, we need to be cognizant of the biases that we bring to bear when we look at our job applicants. This includes things like name, age, race, address, things like this. For example, numerous studies have shown that you can have 2 identical resumes, but the one named Craig is going to get a lot more calls for interviews than the one named Jamal. Likewise, figuring out the person's age can introduce age bias. The person's too old, they're too young, things like that. Or looking at their address may cause you to think, well, gee, that address is in kind of a different socioeconomic zip code than I am in. It's the, Beverly Hills 90210 thing? Is that what the show is called? I forget, I never watched it. But you see what I mean. We don't want to introduce these biases. Finally, number 7, depending on your industry, and if you can do this, provide work sample tests to the job candidates. So for example, if you're hiring a programmer, send the person a programming problem for them to solve. If you're hiring an instructor, ask them to come in and give a 15-minute demonstration or presentation or lesson, something like that, so that you can see their skills on full display. It's not hard to see why this is a good idea. After all, you're hiring for a skill, and what better way to see if they have the skill than by looking at a demonstration of them exercising that skill. It also opens the door to candidates who may not have gone through the traditional route, such as college, but are still highly skilled and highly competent. So there you go. Follow these 7 steps, and I promise you will have a large and diverse pool of candidates from which to choose for your next hire. All right, thanks a lot for joining, and until we talk again, have a fantastic day.